Welcome, Blue Believers, to another episode of the Stamford Sync, where we are syncing up with everything Chelsea FC. And it is my distinct pleasure to welcome back an old friend to the channel because we haven't caught up in a little while. I'm doing a video today with Kai from Behind the Dugouts. Kai, how's it going, bro?
It's good, man. It's good. Thanks for having me back. It's been a while. It has been a while, and I suppose normally when we get together, it's just it's to have the Stamford shrink, isn't it? I think you got to trademark that, mate. But
mate.
At least this time, I suppose the season's over, so we could look to more positive things. At least in my view, and I think you're probably the same.
Yeah, man, we can definitely breathe a collective sigh of relief that the 25-26 season is officially over, and definitely choosing that for both of us to try and become Chelsea content creators for the first time. What an inaugural season that was for our content creation careers. But you are right, 100%. We have got stuff to look forward to, right? You know, the World Cup. Do you know what I mean? The World Cup, that's always a good time, innit? England. But also, we've got a new manager. Xabi Alonso is in tow, and the news is starting to come in about targets and this, that, and the other. But today I want to do something a little bit different. I've done one of these myself recently, but I value your opinion. So we're going to do a keep, loan or sell with all of the players that are on the Chelsea first team list on the website, but also at the end I'm going to throw in a couple of the players that we've got coming in that we've already paid for and got pre-contract agreements with. So let's not waste any time. Let's get into it. We're going to start goalkeepers and work our way up to attackers, and we're going to start.
Sounds good.
It's polarising. Robert Sanchez, keep, loan or sell?
I would sell him.
Yeah.
I would sell him because I think we need to go out and get better, especially with the way we keep turning back, the way we want to play with this, in possession, playing out from the back stuff. We can see it doesn't work. He's a good shot stopper. Like that, I can't fault him with that. When he's been called into some big save, he has come in clutch, but we know it's just a matter of time before he gives something away again. And if we want to move on and we want to move past it, then I think it's time to look for something new. I know that the Penders thing is potentially something that will be happening, and whether he's ready to take the number one spot, who knows? But I do think we should be looking for a new goalkeeper, in my opinion.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I completely agree with that, to be honest. My thing with Sanchez, if any of you guys have watched my channel before and heard me talk about Sanchez, you'll know this. I think the experiment is over. He's been dropped by every manager for 3 seasons in a row. And a lot of people come to the defence of Sanchez, and I do get it, because when he's looked good, he's looked great. And for large swathes and stretches of this season, he's looked like one of our better players. The issue with Sanchez is if you ask him to play in a slightly different way, he just completely falls apart, and that shows you that he doesn't have the confidence to be a top-level goalkeeper. We need someone that if we get a man, imagine we've got Xabi Alonso, and one game he's like, I want you to play with the ball at your feet, and one game he's like, I want you to go long in this game. We need to know that goalkeeper is not going to be phased by just asking or being asked to play a little bit differently. So no, I'm 100% on that one as well. Robert Sanchez is a sell for me. The Mike Penders thing is interesting. There's a lot of noise about Mike Maignan. There's some talks about Robin Roos, but I think either way, 3 years is enough, isn't it? When it comes down to it.
He's not like he hasn't had a fair shot.
No,
he has, and unfortunately, he's not done well enough to warrant it. So
he's had a proper crack at the whip, mate. He's had a lot of game time, and he just keeps getting dropped. So moving on, Philip Jorgensen.
Sell.
Keep that. Yeah.
Sell. Didn't really. I know. Obviously, I think was it Bettinelli that we ended up selling to City, and then this occurrence. But I don't think there was any real reason apart from the panic of having to have a number 2. I just don't see it. The games that we've seen him play, I'm not convinced that he's even good enough to be a number 3.
No.
So
sell
for me.
No, I agree with that one, to be honest. I think the problem with Philip Jorgensen is an issue we need to be wary of with Mike Penders. Like, having a number 2 goalkeeper that's young doesn't work. I think you can have outfield players that are young and they're going to get more game time, but generally, your goalkeeper's going to get the majority of your first team goalkeeper is going to play most of the games of the season.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen. You can't be a Philip Jorgensen, 23, 24 or whatever he is, get 12 games in a season and develop in those 12 games.
Yeah.
Like, he needs to go and be a first team goalkeeper somewhere. Maybe he could have been good enough because he's got the attributes, but he needs to build the experience. So, and I think he'll want that now. I think he'll want to go somewhere else. Like, he's, you know, I don't think Denmark made the World Cup, but I know that he was like not being picked for them even when they were, you know, having their kind of, you know, the qualifying rounds and stuff. So yeah, we'll speed through the next couple because, spoiler alert, neither of them have set foot on the pitch for Chelsea at all in the last couple of seasons. We'll start with Teddy Sharman-Lowe.
Loan. You know, I think he's still quite young, isn't he?
Yeah, I wish they had the ages on here, but they don't. But I think, you know, early 20s, I think, for him, and also Gaga Slanina.
You know what? I think sell Slanina. I mean, we brought him in to potentially become something, and he's kind of just been either thrown into the under-23s or sent on loan. It's not really going to help his career. I would maybe even try and sell him back to the... Was it MLS, I think?
Yeah, it was MLS. Did we not get him before we got Jordi Petrovic?
I think so, yeah.
So he's been there a while.
He's been around a while, and he's never really... I think maybe a couple of pre-season games.
Yeah.
I think that is about it, that he's stepped foot in this Chelsea team, and it happens.
Yeah.
And I know, you know, we've pretty much sold or loaned our whole goalkeeping department, but it's because we need better. Like, there's no point just keeping them for the sake of keeping them. We need better. So for me, I would sell Slanina and loan Sharman-Lowe.
I think you've hit on something really important there. I think you can afford to experiment with attackers and midfielders, fullbacks, centre-backs to a lesser extent, really. But your goalkeeper, more than anyone, needs to be the foundation that everything's built off, doesn't it? And you need to know and be confident that your goalkeeper's the one. And truth be told, we haven't found that guy since Courtois left. But we are stretching out this experiment far too long now. You know, this model, this young people and develop them, whatever. With goalkeepers in particular, it only works if they're getting game time. And apart from Robert Sanchez, none of them are getting game time. And we both think that Robert Sanchez isn't good enough. So it just makes sense, doesn't it? All right, okay, so we're going to move on to defenders. Marc Cucurella.
See, I would keep. But I don't know if it's going to be totally down to us. So
yeah, fair.
If I had my choice, I would keep him.
I think the issue with Marc Cucurella is he's only got 2 years left on his deal, hasn't he?
Yeah.
So it's ride or die now. It's sign a new deal or get sold, isn't it? And there's been a lot of noise about Atletico Madrid in particular. Supposedly Barcelona have pulled out of the race because it seems that he's kind of nailed on for Atletico. Personally, I'm with you. I'm a keep. Like, Marc Cucurella, I think, is such a good player, and I think if we can get him back to where he was at his best, like, he's a cornerstone of the team, and he starts every game without question. We've got Valentin Barco coming in. Yoro Hato's starting to look a bit good. There's talks about Maxi Araujo and Lewis Hall. Do you know what I mean? So there are other links and stuff. So that is one that I would hope we don't have to change, because there are other areas that we need to change and we need to work on. So yeah, I'm with you. If we can keep Marc Cucurella, I think that's ideal. But like you say, maybe not going to be 100% up to us. Tosin Adarabioyo.
Sell.
Get him out of here.
Done his job. Leadership group. You know, done the odd game where he didn't make a mistake, but then had loads of games where he did. So yeah, for me, I'm going to be quite brutal with this back line, especially centre backs. There ain't many that are staying. I'm going to be totally honest. But yeah, sell Tosin 100%.
I think the thing with Tosin, I almost feel a little bit bad for him, because he was never brought in to be a first team centre back, was he? Let's be completely honest. And he had to. Do you know what I mean? We literally got the man on a free from Fulham and put him into a team fighting for the Champions League, do you know what I mean? Or in the Champions League this season. So I don't think that was ever the plan with Tosin. I think our absolute outrageous amount of injuries contributed to the amount of game time that he got. But yeah, 15, 20 mil, someone comes in, wicked, get him out, see you later, Tosin. It's been not even that fun. Benoit Badiashile.
Sell. Another one. You know, you can also put him in a category. He's never really fit. I mean, how many times has this guy been injured? You know, he'll come back, he'll play a couple of good games, and then he'll remind us why he doesn't start, and then he goes off injured and he disappears for months.
He's disappeared for months, and he's not even injured. We haven't seen.
He's just,
you
know,
it's
so
not very good.
Yeah, he needs to go.
Yeah.
It's another one that probably should have gone last summer as well, but didn't. So
it's a shame with Benoit Badiashile, because I think out of the majority of the centre backs that we're looking to shift, he's had the best games on his best day, hasn't he? Like, you remember the shift he put in against Liverpool earlier in the season where he was phenomenal. But yeah, the injury stuff is a bit of a worry. He's a good passer, but not robust enough, I think, as a centre back. A little bit too timid, and is not very good at. You know, he's not very character driven and stuff. Do you know what I mean? He's like, don't really want that kind of timid centre back. But yeah, no, good passing centre back for me, and a left footer, which is kind of good, I suppose, but not 100%.
Yeah, it's basically the idea was to challenge with Levi. Really, that's probably why it was obviously Levi picking up the injury quite early before the season even started, but having the same similar sort of attributes, although. For me, Levi, leadership-wise and aggressiveness, he trumps it for me.
Yeah.
But he's never looked comfortable in the Premier League. He's had the odd good game, but there's no consistency. And I know you can say that about a lot of our players anyway.
No, him in particular though, 100%.
Yeah,
lack of consistency.
The whole idea, of this, and especially now with Xabi Alonso, where it looks like there's been a slight change. Time will still tell. We need to be looking at better. It's not about just getting by and hoping these players turn around, because they've had enough years. He's been with us for a long time as well.
Yeah,
and they haven't done it. So it's time to move on and bring in players that can do it.
That's pre-Blueco?
No, I feel like he was bought the same time as Disassi, was he? No,
I think he was before Disassi. I think did we not get him like a January or something?
Could be, yeah.
I remember he came in and he looked brilliant, and then all of a sudden got injured, and ever since then he's just not been back. But we bought him at 20, and he's still really young. He's like 23.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So that's kind of a bonus, is that at 23. A lot of teams might still see him and see potential, or that he fits into their team, but it's just not the level. You've mentioned him already. The next one is Levi Colwill.
Keep. And build around off. I'll be honest. I think he's got that. It was quite alarming to see how big of a difference he made when he came back. Yeah. And this is a player that's been out all season, that's not fully fit, but looked levels above the centre backs that we had. Of course, there was mistakes in him. There's gonna be. He's not sharp. He's not switched on. He's been out for the entire season. But what he brings to the team in terms of bringing the line up, the line breaking passes alone is enough to sort of get you off your seat. So I think as long as he can get back fit, sharp, which I think he will do for next season, I think he could be a big player for us next year. He seems to like taken that, hopefully that next step. So how much this injury might have put him back, we'll see.
I think the two big things for me, one of them you said, is the instant impact that he made, and just how much better our defence looked as soon as he came back. The other thing for me is the leadership qualities, natural leadership qualities. Like, Reece James has learned how to be a captain, which is great, but Levi Colwill needs to be our vice captain next season. Regardless of whether we keep or sell Enzo Fernandez, I think Levi Colwill needs to be vice captain next season. Right, interesting one. Mamadou Sarr.
Loan.
Yeah.
I think I'm surprised he got as little minutes as he did when he came back, especially with old PE teacher being in charge. I would have thought he would get a few more minutes. But he didn't. He had a couple of good games and then just disappeared again. No injuries, just
he looked amazing against Hull in the FA Cup.
Yeah, exactly. And then just you'd never seen him. So I don't see him pushing into the first team next season. So for him as a player and as young, let's be real, he's AFCON winner and everything. It's not like it's anything to grumble about. There is real talent there.
He's going to the World Cup, I would say, as well.
Exactly, going to the World Cup. I would give him a season. Maybe try and loan him out to a Premiership team, if I'll be honest, and let him compete in the Premier League. Don't just send him back to Strasbourg. Give him a real challenge.
I'd be leaning towards a keep for Mamadou Sarr. And I'm not going to spoil it, but I'm going to back that up for a reason later. I think that, especially if we're going to be playing 3 at the back, we're not going to buy 4 new centre-backs. Do you know what I mean? So we are going to need to keep a couple, especially we've seen as big of injuries has been such an issue. For me, Mamadou Sarr is, you keep him for the season and see how he gets on, and then at the end of the season, you look at selling him if he doesn't do well. Yoro Hato.
Keep. And to be honest, if it depends how they're thinking of using, because he's played a lot of centre back recently, and he's looked good and probably looked as one of our better players coming into the end of the season. But if they're looking at using him in a wing back role, if Xabi Alonso does go to this 3 at the back, you know, he might stick to the 4. I think he could be really deadly.
He got 8 assists for Ajax, I think it was.
Yeah,
as a left back.
What he has, which I would say different from Cucurella, because Cucurella going forward, I mean, it looks like a different beast. The runs that he makes is ridiculous, but he is very erratic. He's very chaotic. Hato is very calm, but provides you with good output. He's good at attacking. You've seen what he can do in the box. He gets into the right areas. I think he could, if he gets more game time, which I can't see why he wouldn't.
100%.
I think he could take the next step next season, and I could see him, and this is why I'm leaning of loaning out Sarr, as I could see him in a centre back role as well, which could then allow Sarr to move on, have Hato as a centre back option as well as a left back or left wing back option.
Yeah, no, I totally agree, man. I think, and we've seen that he can score a banger from long range as well. But no, I think Yoro Hato is going to be one of the players that Xabi Alonso is excited to work with, or just because of the versatility. Do you know what I mean? It's like left back, left wing back, left centre back, different permutations depending on the kind of game that we're playing and stuff. And I agree with you. He looks so calm compared to Cucurella, who is particularly fiery, and I love that about Cucurella. But no, I mean, he's what, is he 20 yet? Do you know what I mean? Is he even 20 yet? And maybe
no, I don't think so.
Soon or whatever. I think we got him when he was like 18, 19. So yeah, Yoro Hato, absolute keeper for me. Trevor Chalobah.
I'm keeping. And I think I know what you're going to say. I'm keeping because Trevor Chalobah, he's a good centre back, but for me, he's always been a depth centre back. He's what Tosin should have been had he not been forced into a start. I think Trevor's the perfect player you bring on when you want to see a game out, or if your main centre back's been injured and needs to fill in for a couple of games. He can do that job. And he knows what Chelsea is. He knows what it means, and that's what I want to keep around in the squad. But I'm also aware of. What do you
think I'm going to say?
I think you might say sell.
So I wouldn't say sell. I would say keep. But kind of harkening back to what you said about Marc Cucurella, I don't necessarily think it's in our hands, because I also agree with what you said, that he is what Tosin Adarabioyo should have been. But at the same time, he's been the starting centre-back for Chelsea for 18 months now, for a season and a half. So if we go and get potential upgrades in the centre-back position, and Trevor Chalobah is made painfully aware you're not going to be first choice anymore, I think he'll be like, I like Chelsea, but I also like first team football. I like bonuses. I like appearance bonuses. And also, if he does want to go, there will be zero resistance to selling him because it's pure profit. So I think it's a very rickety situation with Trevor Chalobah that is entirely based on whether he wants to stay or go. If he's happy to stay and fight for his spot, I desperately want to keep him because, like you say, I think he's a brilliant rotational option. But if he's like, I think I might just go somewhere else, loads of people have come in with 30, 40 mil for Trevor Chalobah, I would have thought. Do you know what I mean? So, and that's just bang, money on the books, isn't it? So, sorry, I'm making lots of coffee noises today. But yeah, so I agree with you, actually. I would keep, were it my decision, but I don't even think it's Chelsea's or Xabi Alonso's decision. I think it's firmly Trevor Chalobah's decision, and they won't stop him whatever he wants to do. I think they'll keep him if he wants to stay, and if he wants to go, I think they'll sell him. I mean, don't even really need to say it, but Reece James?
Keep. Yeah. Captain goes nowhere.
He's just signed a 6-year deal as well, and he's proper Chelsea. And I think he might become a midfielder, though. You know, I've got a feeling that
either that or right centre back. I could see him. I could see him playing, but the midfield seems to be where he's been used consistently by pretty much every manager that's come in recently.
Yeah,
I
apart from
think he
Tommy
even
Tuchel.
used him. I think did Poch even try him a little bit in there? Or was he completely out of that
I
season?
think he was
can't remember.
mostly out of that season because it was
Yeah.
mainly Gusto, wasn't it? I think he was mainly
But
going with Enzo.
most managers, at least after that, have been using. And look, he's looked good in midfield.
Yeah,
he has.
Yeah. He's just a playmaker from anywhere on the pitch. That's the thing, isn't he? Whether he be right centre back, right wing back, or midfield, he is just a playmaker, and he's got that same skill set anywhere. So it'd be interesting to see what happens. Malo Gusto.
This is a tough one.
Mm.
Do we sit of what we know he can do, or do we now? It's 2 poor seasons in a row.
Yeah.
Is it time? And I think we can do better.
I actually personally fall on that. That I like Malo Gusto, and he's young, and there's that. Oh, look what he can do. And my worry is that he goes somewhere else. Like I think he'd be really good at Liverpool. Do you know what I mean? And that kind of right back role that they want over there, rather than what we've been trying to get him to do. Maresca was like, be a midfielder and a striker and a winger and all this, that and the other. And then he's probably got a bit of whiplash from changing all of these managers, and every single one of them wants him to do something different. So I do feel a little bit bad for him, but own goals, poor decision making. Xabi Alonso, if we go for that kind of 3 at the back thing, Jeremy Frimpong scored 14 goals and got 10 assists for Leverkusen that season. If Malo Gusto scores a goal, we're like, oh, Malo Gusto
it's a miracle.
Do you know what I mean?
I think he's got the right attributes, bar his finishing, to be a very good wing back.
Yeah.
Because defensively, he's not reliant on so much. He wouldn't be caught in those own goal positions as much because you have the extra centre back to cover that. And he's got the energy, the work rate to get up and down the pitch to provide the defensive cover, but also to provide in the attacking sense, because he's been doing that from the right back position anyway. And he provides those overlapping runs. But it's when you are playing with wing backs, when you're playing with wing backs, you need clinical ones. You need ones that, if they're not going to score goals, they're going to put crosses in that are going to get them assists and things like that. And he's just... It just doesn't seem to have that in the final third.
Do you know what I mean? It's not even just about crossing and scoring. You know, like I remember saying this when I was talking to Mo. I was like, look, if Reece James plays that position, Reece James can put a cross in and he can score, but also you know that he's 1-2 in with Cole Palmer and he's do you know what I mean? Malo Gusto, I think, is a really good athletic player, but I just don't think he's got the creative chops for the roles that he's been being asked to do. And that's not necessarily his fault. And I do think he'd probably flourish somewhere else. At this point, though, I am a little bit like, I think it's probably just time. Similar to how I am with Sanchez. Do you know what I mean? It's like the experience. It's been 3 seasons now, I think, or 2.5 seasons or whatever. He's played a lot. This is the other worry as well, isn't it? The other problem is like, he just gets so much game time. He's always in the first 11, seemingly, and he doesn't feel like a first 11 player. I would be reticent because I can see that there's something there, but I'm just not convinced it's the right thing for us. So I would probably say so.
Yeah, I think I'm leaning onto that page as well.
It is a tough one though, isn't it, with Gusto? Yeah. Maybe this is not such a tough one. Wesley Fofana.
Sell for me.
Yeah.
I'm gutted. I really am, because and I think a lot of Chelsea fans are the same. The Wesley Fofana that we saw at Leicester and the one that we were buying, he looked unbelievable, man. He really, really did. And of course, injuries have plagued him, and that's gutting. I wouldn't wish that on any player. But when he's been fit, and he has been fit for the majority of this season, he's just not impressed me. And again, we can look at the Sunderland game as at fault again, getting a red card. It's just... I can't rely on him. I don't feel comfortable with him at the back, and I don't see that changing. I don't see him improving. I think it's more not his ability. I think it's his attitude.
Yeah, 100%.
I think his attitude is the problem.
I think he's just an unhappy player, man.
Yeah.
I think, you know, there was noise about him wanting to go back to Marseille on loan, last summer, because that's where he's from, and I think it's just not worked for him at Chelsea. There was a big price tag, and we've seen it in the back half of this season. He's just been a bit petulant, and he's just kind of becoming a bit of a problem causer. And unfortunately, he's never been good enough for us for that to be okay. So I'm definitely leaning towards that as well. Next one, really, really interesting. I think we might disagree. Josh Achiampong.
loan.
We agree.
I really want to keep him,
Mm.
but after you know my feelings on Josh. I've got big things for Josh. I think he's going to be brilliant, but I'm really disappointed in the amount of game time he's got this season.
Yeah.
Because we've seen what we've had. Even if right back, centre back, wherever you want to put him, the players that have been put in front of him have been awful, and he's still not managed to get good enough minutes, or he's getting the last 5 minutes of the game. And as an 18-year-old kid, he can't be doing. He needs to go, build his game. So for me, I hope they can get him a Premiership, even a Championship loan.
Yeah.
Don't send him to Strasbourg. I'm going to keep saying that. Don't send him to Strasbourg. Keep him in England, because this is where the physicality's at.
Yeah.
And that's something that he does need to work on, because we've seen it at times where he's getting brushed off a little bit. He's got the athleticism. He's got the stature.
Definitely.
Just needs to bulk up a little bit, or, but that will come with more game time. So he needs to go and get that for me, and then come back and fight for a spot.
100% agree. My thing with Josh is I just think he needs a Levi Colwill at Brighton season.
Yeah.
Something like that, where he can
Breakout
go
season.
fight and break into a first team, feel a different kind of pressure. And, because with Chelsea, it's all about what we should be achieving. But if you go to another team, it's just about getting into that team, isn't it? Being the best player for that team. And the issue with Josh, so he's 16 appearances this season, which sounds all right, but it's not enough. Do you know what I mean? It's not enough for him to be good. I don't feel like he's ready to break into our first team yet. No. I feel like and that's the problem, isn't it? Because we're Chelsea, we need to push on desperately, and we can't put the pressure of where we are right now and where we need to be on Josh Hachiampong, because that will curtail and ruin his development. So for me, this is also why I would say I would keep Mamadou Sarr, because I care less about Mamadou Sarr. Do you know what I mean? It's like, like yourself, I think Josh Hachiampong has got a real opportunity to be the next Levi Colwill type player in our team. And if Mamadou Sarr, we keep him and he doesn't work out this season, I won't be particularly bothered. But if we keep Josh Hachiampong, he doesn't get enough game time, doesn't develop enough, and then agitates for a move, and if he does well enough, again, pure profit sale, this, that and the other, do you know what I mean? I'd be really, really disappointed to lose out on Josh Hachiampong. So no, I 100% agree. So that's the defenders. We're going to move into the midfield, and we're going to start with a particularly polarising character. It is Mr. Enzo Fernandez.
Keep.
Yeah.
It's a very divide on Enzo, I have to admit, across the fan base. But the numbers don't lie, man. What this guy's been doing, especially when we've been terrible, I won't swear, when we've been terrible, he has produced when we've needed it. Of course, there are parts of his game that aren't great, but name me one player that's perfect at everything.
No, that's true.
It's not. I can't expect him to do everything. What he needs to be partnered with the right person, but he does produce numbers. He does. One thing I can never say about Enzo Fernandez, he gives 100% probably more than 100% every single game. The guy works hard. He runs. He's not very quick, but he runs incredibly hard. He works for the team. He's even though there's been lots of talk about him wanting to leave and things like that, and a lot of times when players want to leave, you can see the drop. It's very rare where players will, even though they know they're leaving, they produce magic. Eden Hazard, we knew he was going, he knew he was going, and he still managed to wipe the floor with Arsenal in the Europa League for us. But I would like to keep him.
Yeah.
But I also don't think it's happening. I think he's going.
Yeah. I honestly, I don't know. He's the only player in the squad that I don't actually have an answer for. I'm indifferent, and I would be happy to keep him, but I also wouldn't be sad to see him go. I think the issue with Enzo Fernandez is, where do you play him? He needs to find a home, and he doesn't sound like he's found that positional home in the because Maresca played him deep, but it wasn't really playing him deep. Like all the managers that he's played for under us, apart from Pochettino, play him further forward.
Yeah.
But we bought him as a deep line midfielder. You want Cole Palmer in that spot, and I want a new centre attacking midfielder to push Cole Palmer, and I don't want Enzo Fernandez to be our attacking midfielder.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? If there's a way for him, like Xabi Alonso's got this really interesting thing. He likes deep lying distributors, like Granit Xhaka was at Leverkusen, but that was not a high scoring role at all. 4 goals, 2 assists in that season for Granit Xhaka. So depending on, the question is, what does Xabi Alonso see him as?
Yeah.
And if he sees him as a deep line player or as a whatever, okay. But this has been the issue for me with Enzo Fernandez. The entire time we've had him, I still don't know what he is or where he's at his best.
Yeah.
All I know is that he scores goals, and he definitely scores goals, and that's obviously super, super valuable, which is why, and the only reason I'd be happy to keep him is because despite him getting moved around all the time and him not looking like the best archetypal number 10, he gets goals and he gets assists. So
yeah.
I think
that is the biggest problem with it, right? Is they're players around the league or in other leagues that, if Enzo was to go, you'd be happy with the money and you could go out. But what you probably can't do, unless you're going for like the top tier, you're spending the big bucks, you can't replace his goals. And that's what's going to win you games, and that's what's going to get you points. There's very few, and I'm talking about like the deep lying midfield role, not the 10, that produce his numbers.
But he doesn't produce his numbers from deep lying midfield. That's exactly
more in
the
that
point.
Role, but
yeah,
I don't know, man. I think it's going to be. I mean, I've got names in my head that I think would be like a decent.
We'll save them for another video.
Yeah, save them for another video.
Yeah.
But no, I'd like to keep him, but I'm also, similar to you, I'm open to the thought. Like, it's not going to break me if he does.
I think you just said something really interesting today that's just kind of made me think, and it is really like, you just said you can't replace his goals. And from a deep line midfielder role, you are right, but I wouldn't expect... If we spent 100 mil on another deep line midfielder, I'm not expecting him to get those kind of numbers, because that's not the kind of thing I think we need in our deep midfield.
Yeah.
I think we need something in our deep midfield that gets more goals out of our attacking players, right? So I don't, so Enzo Fernandez scores 10 goals, 15 goals in the season, 10 goals in the Premier League. I want those goals to be coming from a left winger or a left-sided half attacking space, or more for the striker, or more from Cole Palmer, or more from the right wing. If anything, like, Enzo Fernandez has been amazing, but he's been amazing in spite of the team. Do you know what I mean? And I have a feeling that if our other attackers were better, he probably wouldn't have such high numbers, because he wouldn't have all of that pressure on him to do that. So it's an interesting one, and honestly, I still don't know where I fall with it. I'm just going to say arbitrarily loan. No. No, do you know what? I'll just say sell. I'll just say sell at the moment. But like I say, I wouldn't be unhappy to keep him because of the potential that's there, but it's just a really complicated one with him. But moving on, Dario Asugo.
Loan.
Back to Sporting, Premier League.
Sporting might be a good shout because he knows it, but I would like the idea to try and loan as many to the Premier League as possible. And I know it's not going to work that way because Premier League clubs might not be interested, or the player. But at least you can, there you go. At least you can see what they're like in the league and how they cope. Send him to like a Palace or Tottenham. They always need as much help as they can get. Not that I want any of our players to go to something, but you know what I mean? Send them to a club that's really struggling, that are really weak. And
Ipswich.
Ipswich would be a great shout, because he's going to probably get into that team, because he just needs to play minutes. And even like send him into the Championship, because at least there, obviously more games, but he's going to get beaten, battered and bruised, because it's a lot... can be a bit more physical down there because of the way that it is. Imagine him coming up against a Millwall. So, just scary times for the kid.
It's true.
But, if we can keep him in England, great. If not, he just needs minutes.
Yeah.
He just needs minutes.
100%. Andre Santos.
Keep.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, keep. Again, another player that I think could have come on a lot more had he had got more minutes. I don't know what happened in the spell with the PE teacher, where he played great for like 5 games and then he never saw the squad for ages. Not because of injury, just don't know.
Wild about him. So I did a video the other day looking at the top 10 players in our squad from SofaScored, and he was like number 8. And that's wild when you think about, like, Mark Cucurella didn't even make that list, do you know what I mean? And Andre Santos has played sporadically throughout the season and is the 8th best player at the team. So it shows you, for the most part, when he has played, he's played really well. Maresca didn't play him at all.
No.
Then he started getting loads of game time under Azinha, was getting in the first team like 8 games in a row or something, and then woof, vanish.
Disappeared, yeah.
Really good rotation option, though, I think.
Yeah, that's the thing. Not every player that's going to stay is going to be that starter. You need rotation option, but we also need quality.
Yeah.
Not just a rotation option for the sake of rotation. Someone that we know can come in and do the job, even if the starter is going to be out for 5-6 games.
Yeah.
And I think Andre Santos has shown enough that I think he's able to do that.
Okay.
Because, like I said, right, we're not going to have a starting 11 and a full bench of starting 11s because how are you going to keep them all happy?
Yeah, no,
it's
true,
not going to happen.
100%.
So,
I'm on board with that. I think keep. I think he's a good rotational squad player. I think that it's going to be hard next season because we've got no Europe. It's going to get thinned out, and I think Dario Sugo is probably. I have a feeling that Dario Sugo and Andre Santos are the most likely to go. Andre Santos is the most valuable rotation option we've got in the midfield, and apparently, as Xabi Alonso wants a new midfielder as well, so it'd be interesting to see what happens with that. Right, easy one, Moise Caicedo.
Yeah, keep.
Yeah, of course.
I think he's gonna come on under Xabi Alonso.
I think Xabi's like gonna.
I think
love
he's gonna.
him.
Yeah. So, and he gives you everything. I mean, he can even. When we talk about having a deep, sort of deep lying midfielder that can pick up these passes, he has shown in moments he's able to do that.
Yeah.
And I think Xabi Alonso is going to try and push that more onto him.
Yeah.
To have that cover, that engine, but also that engine that can pick a pass.
He's got a screamer on him as well, isn't he? He can score a long-range banger.
He only scores bangers. He don't do tap-ins, Caicedo.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Easy one. Okay, next one. Romeo Lavia.
This is a hard one
because
there's just so much talent there, man.
Yeah,
but the best ability is availability, man, and.
He's never completed a full 90 minutes for Chelsea.
I was about to say, he's never completed a full 90. I really want him to do well, man, but I can't. I think he was injured again when or the Sunderland game. That's why he wasn't available.
Oh, I don't know.
I'm sure
actually.
I'm not 100%, but I saw a lot of unhappy Twitter people, or X, whatever you call it now, about him not being available again.
Yeah, okay. Oh, God.
So if he wasn't injured, let us know in the comments. But the fact that he wasn't even on the bench or, as an option is a little bit concerning. And he's just never available, man. Never available. No. Regardless of the talent, there's no point having it if you can never use it.
It's true.
So do I say sell or do I say loan? I'm going to say sell. If he wants a new midfielder, we're going to need to raise funds, and I think.
So
I think it's time.
I think Romeo Lavia is quite problematic in that respect. So I actually am keep.
Yeah.
I think Xabi Alonso will love him because he is a deep lying distributor. So too, I think profile-wise, if he can have a Reece James style comeback, which is possible because we've seen it. Levi Colwill's looking good after a long injury. Reece James is back in the team. Even Liam Delap, has been fit at least, and Cole Palmer now is fit. Do you know what I mean? So we've seen it a few times with a few players after big injuries. They are coming back and they are getting all right. Romeo Lavia, a bit of a worrying one. So profile of player, it's a keep, but also it's a keep because you can't sell him. We paid 60 mil for him. No one is coming in back. They won't take the book loss. That's just the truth. They will absolutely not take the book loss on him because that makes it harder for them to buy more players. He's either, maybe he gets a loan, maybe. But
I think a loan could be a possibility because that way you can send him to a warmer country for a bit and see how he cracks on. I'd love him to stay and still work.
Yeah.
It's been 3 years, and it's barely played 30 games for us, is it? Like it's just, not much you can really do with a player like that.
I just think trying to shift him is a headache that we don't need.
It's going to be difficult, yeah,
really, really difficult. Even on loan, do you know what I mean? Even on loan to get someone to pay enough of his wages to justify it. So for me, it's a keep, and. If this is it though now, this is the season. Like they are going to have to take a loss on him at the end of the season. But at the moment, they won't want to do that. Do you know what I mean? Because they need to rebuild the squad quite a lot. All right, so we're going to move into attackers. Pedro Neto.
Sell.
Okay, interesting.
I did think about him going into the wing-back role
Mm-hmm.
because I think it potentially could be a role that would suit him down to a T.
Mm-hmm.
But he's a winger, and I want my wingers to produce numbers and quality. I find him too negative as a winger. I find him ultra defensive.
Yeah.
I mean, we're looking at the game against Sunderland. He's got 1v1 with players and he's turning back every single time. And it's not just this season. He's been doing it since he's come in. I love his work rate. I love how he works for the team. And I wish all our players had the same work ethic as he does.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't have a winger that I'm just going, oh, he works hard. That's it.
Willian was like that.
Yeah, I know, but
you had that mercurial lead and had to balance it out though.
Yeah,
didn't you?
Willian will turn up and whack a free kick every now and again and things like that. And I don't see. Although Pedro Neto scored obviously the Fulham goal, he scored in certain big occasions. He scores some certain bangers, but he doesn't. I never look at him going, "Oh, you're going to produce a moment of magic in the game for me," at any point. And even Willian, I could see that. Even he was just a dogged worker.
Yeah.
And similar to what I said at the beginning of the video with some of the defenders, we need better.
Yeah.
He's had quite a few seasons now, and we need better. Our attack has been dead, awful. So we need to improve on it. So. Yeah, for me, it's a sell.
It's true. It's a difficult one again. So the wing-back thing's really interesting because Xabi Alonso's wing-backs, if we do go for a similar, which we might not, but if we go for a similar formation and setup to what he had at Leverkusen, his wing-backs were some of the highest scoring and highest assisting players in the team, both of them, Frimpong and Grimaldo. Yeah. Frimpong was 14 goals and 10 assists. Grimaldo was like 12 goals and it was 15 assists. It was ridiculous, do you know what I mean? So I do think there's the opportunity for him to be converted into that role because we do know he can score, and if he is specifically played in that role, then maybe it's something that could work for him on the left side. Not sure about the right, but I'm actually kind of sell as well because we've got Quenda coming in, Esteval next season. If we're playing the three, then Cole Palmer will probably feature on that right side and drift in a lot as well. And do you know what I mean? So I do think that we're quite stocked. I think we'd be able to get a decent chunk of change for him because he has been good. And he's been courted by Barcelona earlier in the season and stuff like that. So I like Pedro Neto, but also I'm kind of with you. I think it's one of those, isn't it? Like, you've got to be realistic and think, everyone's saying, we need a complete refresh. And it's like, so some of the players are going to have to go, and it's not all going to be ones that we just don't do anything for us. So I'm kind of the same with Pedro Neto. Liam Delap.
And this is not a face because I want to keep him, because I don't.
Yeah. Sell or loan.
But it's sell or loan. I'd probably say sell.
Yeah.
Cut the losses. It just doesn't. It doesn't look like a Premiership striker, and I know he had an okay season at Ipswich. Send him back there for I just again need better. Expect, was it 1 or 2 goals?
2
over it's just
nearly 40 games.
It's not good enough.
He scores once every 20 games, and he's literally a striker.
Exactly. It's so
got 3 assists in the FA Cup though.
Regardless of what the money is, we paid the cheap 30 mil.
30 mil. Yeah.
Strikers are bought to score goals.
Yep.
And he's not doing his job. And he doesn't look. He's more interested in fighting everybody than he is playing football. And I loved that in the olden days. But at least Diego Costa would want to fight with everyone, but he'd bang in goals. So you didn't care. Where Liam Delap wants to fight everyone, but he couldn't hit a barn door.
I think Liam Delap, for me, is the most obvious example of failure from the sporting directors in terms of profile. It was just because he was cheap. That's why we got him, because there was relegation clause, 12 goals, Ipswich went down. You can get a 20, 21-year-old Liam Delap for 30 mil. That's a snip based on the Ipswich stuff. what we've seen is he doesn't fit in a possession-based team. He doesn't. And we're going to continue to be a possession-based team. That's how Xabi Alonso plays football. So I would sell as well. I could see a loan. But I think we should just cut our losses. And I think Omega is going to be... I think Omega's going to score more than 2 goals next season in however many appearances. Do you know what I mean? I would much rather have Nicholas Jackson back any
100%.
day. So yeah, no, Liam Delap is sell. Cole Palmer.
Keep. Yeah. I think, and I'm hoping Xabi Alonso is going to build the team centered the attack around him.
I would have thought so.
And turn him into what Wirtz became. The talent is still there. I mean, he remembered he was Cole Palmer against Sunderland and scored that goal. It's there. I think he's a player that suffered with injury and he lacks so much confidence right now, which is crazy to think because, back when he hit the scene, nothing fazed him and he didn't think anything could faze him. But he's clearly going through that. But I think with this kind of manager, this will spark a little bit more confidence in him. And I think we'll see a different player next season.
I do think this is the last season that he's got to prove himself again, though.
Yeah.
And I am keep as well. But I do now feel like that he's running out of time to... The thing about Cole Palmer, he's really easy to make a profit of because we spent 40 mil on him. We've nearly had him for 3 years. So anything plus 20, 30 mil is going to be profitable. So if we sell Cole Palmer for 50, 60 mil at the end of next season because he's not done very well, we still make a profit on that. So I think he's getting into last chance saloon territory. I love him and I desperately want him to get back to the way he was, 100%.
Yeah.
But 3 seasons is enough, I think, because he went from 24 goals to 14 goals to 10 goals. He needs to score 14 plus this season, I think. And, he doesn't need to have another 24 goal season. That's not the case at all. But he needs to contribute more to the team being successful.
His assists were down quite heavily this season.
Yeah.
You can sort of make it up if you're scoring 10 goals, but you're getting like 15 assists. But I think it was like 10 goals and 1 assist.
Yeah.
It might be a little bit more, but in the Prem, so the assist numbers were down. But again, it's one of those, the contributing factors is how poor the attack is. There's definitely probably many occasions where we looked at where he's played a ball in and it's not been finished. So it's one of those, but I think it will come right.
I think he's one of those players that will benefit from having better players around him as well, truth be told. I think that Garnacho and Jamie Gittins were massive downgrades. Pedro Neto's okay, but they don't exactly have like an amazing... Like, he actually played well with Noni Madueke. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So we lost Nicholas Jackson and Noni Madueke, and I think that was part of it because he had good relationships with them on the pitch as well. I'm the same. Keep him, but I think he's getting into last chance saloon territory. Jamie Gittins.
Loan.
Okay.
Yeah. Mainly because I haven't seen enough of him to even have an opinion on him, really. He didn't do amazing. He scored that 1 goal against Wolves, but he's barely played any football for us. So I can't really form much of an opinion. So he needs to go play football somewhere. And we've obviously got Quenna coming in. I do think the left-hand side is somewhere where we need to target the most in the window.
Yep.
So for me, send him out on loan.
So I have a bit of a wild one with Jamie Gittins. It's a keep because I think he might be able to play the Jeremy Frimpong role. Because Jeremy Frimpong is not a right back. He played in the same way that Victor Moses wasn't, right?
Yeah.
Jeremy Frimpong scored a bucket load of goals and got loads of assists from the right-hand side in Xabi Alonso's system. I think Jamie Gittins might be able to play quite well in that role as well. I don't think he's a half space behind the striker guy, and he's not strong enough to be a starting left winger if we do play a 4 at the back. But if we do go for the 3 at the back, I actually have a feeling Jamie Gittins would be a good option because Reece James isn't going to play that role. Reece James would be right centre back or midfield. At the moment, we've got Malagusto. So does Jamie Gittins have an opportunity for a conversion and a transformation into a very attacking wing back? Because that's the thing is, like, Alonso's wing-backs didn't do a huge amount of defending. Do you know what I mean? They weren't really
No.
full-backs at all. They were very, very, very attacking. And I have a feeling that Jamie Gittins might be useful in that position and maybe can...
He's going to have the speed for it.
Yeah. And he can finish, and he also some really nice assists this season from Jamie Gittins. When he was at his best, he was getting some really, really good assists.
I would be fine if that's the idea of him. Again, I don't think we should get rid.
No, I don't think we can.
It's
spent too much money on him.
More for me is about if we're not going to use him in that kind of sense as a wing back. Same net. I want better wingers.
Yeah.
And I don't. Again, to form an opinion on him, I don't really know anything about him if he's good enough to do it. So I'd rather give him the fact that he's been. I don't even know if he's not injured anymore. To be honest,
I think he's not been able to. He's not been on the bench or anything. So I think he's still in recovery at the moment. So only time will tell. I think Xabi. I think he'll be a player that Xabi Alonso will be interested in looking at.
Yeah.
And also Bluco will not want to sell him because of how much money we paid for him, and also I think we'd struggle to loan him as well. I don't think it'd be a really easy player to get out on loan. So interesting with Jamie Gittins. João Pedro, hot topic at the moment.
Keep. Don't let him go anywhere.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
got to be.
But it's again build around. I think he's been superb this season. So Barcelona, F off in the politest term. We need to keep him.
Yeah. I think it would be really bad for Xabi Alonso to come in and the first thing that happens is we lose João Pedro. I think that would really not be good at all. That would be awful. I think it's going to be a case if Xabi Alonso says he doesn't go, he doesn't go.
I don't see him being able. I mean, he may want to try and force a move, but I don't see him being able to.
He's got a 6-year, 7-year deal. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
They'd have to pay, if they paid like 150 mil, which would be, they'd have to break the British transfer record. And he's not worth the British transfer record, but that's the only situation that makes it like, you can go out there and reinvest in a top quality player. You can get your Victor Osimhen then if that's what Xabi Alonso wants. Do you know what I mean? But I just think it would be a really, really bad thing if Xabi Alonso comes in and says, I really want to keep this guy, and the first thing that happens is like he's off to Barcelona. Definitely a keep. Mark, you
sell.
I agree. Just profit at this point.
Yeah, there's just no point in the loan. So, and I to be fair, I think the player also wants out.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to be sat on the bench. He's a young kid who wants to play his football. So, sell for me.
Esteval Willian.
Keep.
Not going to be back until August, so he's going to miss pre-season.
Miss a lot of pre-season,
Gutted, really, really gutted. But no, it's and you know what's wild is all of the debates we were having at the start of the season about whether he was being overused or not. And I sat on the fence I sat in the camp of, don't overuse him. Do not overuse him because this is what will happen. And lo and behold, we overused him and it happened.
No. That's not how the injury happened. The injury happened was from a sprint. Same like Liam Delap in the beginning at Crystal Palace. He sprint and his muscle hamstring went.
It had anything to do with the fact that he played like 70 games for Palmeiras in the season before?
Potentially, but sprinting, especially I don't think the weather was particularly great in the game, but sprinting is always one of those things. With a player like him who relies on his speed, it's inevitable. It's one of those things that can always happen with every sprint. If they're not warm enough, or if it's just too quick because of his style of play. It could have happened if he played 70. It could have probably happened if he only played 10. It wouldn't have made a difference. It was at that moment. Did he get a knock when he was sprinting it? I feel like
I can't even remember.
Like the player might have touched him, but from watching it, it was pretty much almost identical to how the lap did it.
Okay.
It was the initial burst of speed, and you can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, guys, but from what I can remember, this injury, because I think he had an injury prior to this one, this was that burst of speed and it just went. And that can happen at any time. Obviously, the more games you play, the muscles don't have as much time to recover, but I think this could have happened at any point.
Yeah. Okay. Garnacho.
sell.
Yeah.
I don't even think it's just the case of he's not cut out for us. I think it's done in England for him.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know why other fans are United. I get, but the rest of the league, I don't understand why they hate him so much. I get he's got this persona around him and what's been built up at United, but I just don't think he has the right mentality to play with this constant battering, berating. Obviously, we've had enough of him. We've seen enough of him. I still think there's loads of talent there. There's little things, right? I expect a professional footballer. Not everybody's going to be amazing at it, but 1v1, I don't expect the ball to bounce off your leg.
Right.
When you're trying to do, a simple shift of the ball or things like that. It's very Bambi on ice. It's very, I can't remember the game it was. I want to say Brentford, but I could be wrong, where we've picked up the ball, we've counter-attacking, he's got the ball on left-hand side, he drives in the middle, and you're thinking, all right, either take it down the line 1v1 or pass it off and move, and he just runs straight in to the defender, and I'm thinking, that's not a footballing brain.
No.
In any sense. He's almost like he was thrown into football at 17 or wherever it was in United, and they kind of just forgot to coach him.
They give him a lot of freedom, definitely,
and they just let him go on. And I just feel like he's missed so much of the foundations of football, which is crazy because he would have been in an academy from a little boy up until now. So that's where you pick up your foundation phase. But he just looks like he misses all of that. And
I think the problem with Garnacho is that he was one of the better players at United for that time that he was there. So he was afforded more freedom because of it. And he was not one of the better players that's come here, and he's been given a lot of tactical instruction. And I think he's just a player that doesn't do well with lots of tactical instruction. He's not very good at decision making when he's got all that tactical instruction. Because like you say, I'm just so sick of watching him bang it up the byline and lose the ball over and over and over and over and over again. And he doesn't even I don't know, maybe it's manager instruction, but you would have thought he'd try and cut in more, or he'd try and play through the middle a little bit. He's just
he was doing loads of cutbacks when he first come, and they were coming off, just stopped, or the quality of the cutback just died. And it's just, I don't think he's not cut out for us.
I think he's an easy sell as well, because we paid 35 mil for him, didn't we? So I think we'll recoup that, because he's still 21, 22. Do you know what I mean? He's still so young. I just think it was like Liam Delap. I think it was a roll of the dice based on the price of the player rather than the profile, and it didn't pay off. So I agree. Sell Alejandro Garnacho. Right, so we'll just get into a couple of the guys that we in the comments. You'll have to remind me if I've forgotten anyone. We'll start with Mike Penders coming from Strasbourg.
Yeah, keep.
Yeah.
I actually saw an interview recently of him speaking. I think he was speaking about Chilwell. He actually speaks really well, not just in terms of how he speaks, but like language-wise in terms of his English, but how he holds himself in an interview. I was actually quite surprised, given how he's quite young. I was expecting a little bit of maybe a timid player, not as outspoken, but he actually spoke quite well, which also struck me that he's not going to come into the squad and shy away and hide in the back of the boot room and things like that. I think he will come in and think he is going to be the number one, and he's going to prove it.
Sweet.
Or at least try to.
I'm concerned about keeping him if we buy a goalkeeper. I'm worried about that, and I want an old goal number 2 next season. I want another Willy Caballero or Mark Schwarzer or Asmir Begovic. I want another one of those. Do you know what I mean? But I want him to come in and get into the team more than anything. That's what I want. But I'm concerned of doing to him what we did to Jordi Petrovic and Philip Jorgensen, and he just not get enough game time, get Aggie, and then leave eventually. So I'm loan again at the moment, but into a Prem team ideally. Emmanuel Omega.
Keep.
Yeah. I really like the idea of, if we do go with the 3 at the back, of playing essentially Omega and João Pedro up top with Cole Palmer in behind them.
Yeah.
Because Omega's really good. He's like a Nicholas Jackson type that drifts wide, and then you've got João Pedro who can drop deep, which allows Cole Palmer to get forward. I think we could have a really fluid front three with those three. It seems quite fun and interesting. Giovanni Quenda.
Keep.
Yeah.
Keep, mainly because we need a reshuffle of the side, but I also would like us to go and get a more experienced winger that he can learn off. But I've seen good things, and more not so much on his goal output, but more so on his creative side.
Yeah.
I think that's one thing it stands out, that even
Really
the wingers
player.
that we have, he looks very creative. He looks like he's got a footballing brain, which will definitely be more useful than what we've got at the moment. So, keep.
Yeah, I'm keep with Quenda as well. Valentin Barco.
He's in the squad. Keep.
Just playing the game. Just playing the game.
Yeah, look. I think it's an interesting one with Barco, because he was always coming in, even like before Alonso was signed. I just, apart from like energy, and you'll correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't know too much about him. I haven't really like delved into him too deeply as of yet. I don't know what else he would provide.
Really creative player, man. Really creative player. Versatile. Played a lot in midfield, left back, left wing back, which will obviously
left wing back would work quite well.
Yeah. A lot people's issue with Valentin Barco is that he's a little guy, but I'm not even really worried about that, because like Marco Correa's a little guy. Do you know what I mean?
Caicedo's little.
Caicedo's a little guy.
So Kante was little.
Yeah, exactly.
Makelele, none of these guys were huge.
Exactly. I don't think being a little guy is the problem. I think it's a bit more of an uphill struggle when you're a little guy in the Premier League. But he's got a lot of character. He's got a load of energy. He's creative. I think he'd probably play in a lot of different positions. I think he would be a bit of a utility player, and as a rotational option, I think that's awesome. I think we could 100% do with a little bit of that, to be completely honest. I really like Valentin Barco. I don't think he's necessarily going to come and storm into the first team, but I think having a player like him around is going to be really good. The last one, honestly, I don't really know anything about. His name is Satpayev.
The young striker. Loan.
Yeah. That's what I instantly feel.
I still want us to get a top forward. Yeah. Like a top forward. And have him and João Pedro fight, and Omega as being the backup or third choice. I don't expect Omega to walk in and be fighting for the number one, because if it's going to be between him and João Pedro and we get a third choice, João Pedro walks it all day for me. But yeah, I wouldn't bring in. I mean, I've seen him in spurts. I've seen some good things from him, but
feels like another Mark Yu to me.
Yeah, I'd be a Premiership, Championship, even just a tougher league than what he's been in. Low. I mean, you could send him to Strasbourg if you want.
It's probably not a bad chat actually, because we'll be taking Omega, so maybe that's
so
kind of on the cards.
They've got to have. I feel like all these young players that we have, and hopefully it's not going to be as many going forward, and it's going to be sprinkled rather than just a tidal wave of young players. But we'll see what happens in the future. But they need to have the correct steps. It's not playing in the Kazakhstani league and then next minute you're fighting for Chelsea. It's Kazakhstani league, then maybe like
League One or
League
something.
One, and then
go
go into Championship, and then maybe go into the French league, and then come into the like that is a good path for them, not just one good season somewhere and just throw them in the team and hope. They need to have the correct pathway for all these players.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that's a lesson they need to have learned by now. Yeah, I mean, we bought so many David Washingtons, David Datro Fofana, Omari Kellyman, and even Diego Moreira, who's actually doing really well at Strasbourg now, was absolute proof. It's like that stepping stone is so important for these young players. If anything, they need to buy more clubs. I mean, they need to go and buy more clubs.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I agree. Satpayev, I don't know a huge amount about him, but I would just be reticent to take another 18-year-old striker from a low-level league and throw him into Chelsea. Even though he might look great at the moment. Yeah, it just feels like we need to push on, and we can't be putting the pressure of getting from 10th to 4th on 18-year-olds. That's not fair. And it will curtail their development at the end of the day. So that is it. There is one bonus player, actually. It's because he's still on the Chelsea first team paid website, man. It's Mykhailo Mudryk. I mean, it's not. Can we even sell it?
I don't know if you can do anything because he's not. I don't think you can.
He's just not allowed to play football, is he? Like anywhere.
Yeah.
No.
So you can't sell him to anyone because they can't use him.
He's still on the website.
No one's going to buy a banned player.
Oh, guys, so that is it.
I feel like when he comes back, it'll either be a loan or sale. I don't think he will be given the opportunity.
I think they'll terminate his contract.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Yeah, possibility, yeah.
It will cost less than it did with Sterling.
Sterling, yeah.
So, yeah, Mudryk, terminate. Keep loan, sell or terminate. So, guys, that is it. That is Kai's and a little bit mine, but mostly Kai's keep loan or sell for the entire Chelsea first team. Obviously, barring any new players that might come in, that's what we think about everyone that has been on the books for this season. Nice one, guys. Thank you very much, Kai, for joining me. It's been a pleasure. I hope to get you on another video soon. I think we might do something about some perfect, ideal, dream transfer targets, right? In Xabi Alonso's Super Chelsea. Nice one, guys. Thank you very much for sticking around until the end of the video. If you did, if you haven't already, get over to Kai's YouTube channel, Behind the Dugouts, and subscribe because he's on for a big summer and you're not going to want to miss it. Take care. We'll catch up with you very, very soon. Take it easy. Peace.